Let's get some analysis on this attack from Colin Cookman in Washington, D.C. He's part of the United States Institute of Peace Center for South Central Asia. So good to speak to you. How much of a presence does Daesh actually have in Afghanistan? Is this the first attack they officially claimed?
So Daesh has been present in Afghanistan since they announced the formation of an affiliate there in 2014. Up until now, they've primarily been concentrated in the eastern part of the country. But since last summer, they've started carrying out some of these large-scale attacks in Kabul. This is actually the fourth to be claimed by the group in Kabul since that time.
So as you mentioned, Afghanistan has been hit by waves of attacks in the last months. Are they all linked to Daesh? And what is the presence of Taliban and the connection between the two terror groups?
Well, no, Daesh is just unfortunately one of many groups carrying out attacks against the Afghan state and the Afghan people. The Taliban last week carried out separate attacks in Kabul, and the two groups have actually fought in parts of the country in the east where they've been fighting for control. So thus far, we haven't seen signs of coordination, but unfortunately, both are continuing to attack the Afghan state.
And why is there a rise of attacks by Daesh in Afghanistan?
Sure. Well, particularly in the past year, as sort of this group emerged in eastern Afghanistan, the United States military coalition and the Afghan state began cracking down in this area, attempting to dislodge this group. And I think part of the response we've seen to that, as they have come under pressure, is to retaliate through these larger scale direct attacks against civilians or military targets in major population centers like Kabul.
And how can Afghanistan tackle the threat of terror?
Sure. It's a major challenge for the government. The United States and other allies have been, working to support the Afghan security forces, providing assistance and training. I think, unfortunately, there's a real disconnect within the region. Just last month, you saw this same Daesh affiliate carry out an attack in Pakistan, but the response there has been to, close the border between Afghanistan and Pakistan. And so bringing together sort of cross-regional coordination in terms of the military and intelligence agencies' response to this threat. Unfortunately, it's still a work in progress, and there's a lot of distrust on both sides. So going forward, that would be the real priority for addressing this group. And
where are Daesh getting their funding from in Afghanistan?
Yeah, I mean, it's unclear, obviously, the areas that they operate in. It's difficult to observe. Many groups in Afghanistan sort of tax the local economy, extract resources from the areas that they control. There's some suggestions that the Daesh central leadership in Iraq and Syria may be sending some resources, some direction to the group here, but by and large, to date, the best evidence suggests that it is largely sort of a local group or local groups operating under the name and largely sustaining themselves locally.
Thank you for joining us here on TRT World, Colin Cookman, and for the insight.
Thank you.